Welcome to Beginning Orchestra.
My name is Mary McNeil, and I'm the head orchestra director at A&M Consolidated Middle School.
This presentation will give you better insight on what to expect in orchestra and how to get started. In an effort to keep everyone safe and not overwhelm our instrument vendors, the annual orchestra interview night is now online. In this presentation, you will find instrument videos, how to measure your student for the correct size instrument, the link to the online instrument selection form, vendor and rental information, as well as the time and date for the Zoom question and answer meeting. What is orchestra? Orchestra is made up of the violin, viola, cello, and bass. Students will learn to read music, play an instrument, perform in an ensemble or team setting. They'll develop social skills, as well as create a peer group of positive, hardworking students that will stay with your child all the way through high school. They will learn to emotionally express themselves through musical performance, and they will gain pride and confidence in themselves and their instrument. These characteristics are lifelong skills that will help students become healthy, successful adults one day. CSISD orchestra students have many successes. We encourage you to take a moment to find your favorite success. And here we are at one of the most fun parts of the whole online instrument interview. We get to meet the instruments.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Day, and I'm the orchestra director at College Station Middle School, and I'm here to show you about the violin today. So the violin is the highest instrument in the orchestra. It's also the smallest. The role of the violin in orchestra is actually twofold because we have two violin parts in orchestra. So they get to play harmony just similar to the viola and cello, but they also get the melody quite a bit. So you get to kind of have both worlds on violin. So I'm going to show you about what the violin sounds like. So this is the lowest sounds that the violins can make. Is the sounds that the highest sounds that the violin can make. Okay, so the violin can come in all different sizes also. Comes in small sizes that even like a little 5-year-old could play on. It also comes all the way up to this size, which is a full-size instrument. So if you are a really tall person, you can still play the violin, but this is the biggest it's gonna get. So just keep that in mind if you come from a family of maybe taller people, that full-size violin is as far as it goes. Unlike viola, which can keep getting bigger and bigger. So violin, you're gonna measure the length of your arm, just like the viola. So you're gonna measure from your neck all the way to this part of your wrist, the very end of it next to your palm. So from your neck all the way to your wrist. It's really important when you're measuring violin that you go smaller if you're not exactly on the measurements, because as you can see, holding the violin is not a position that you normally walk around in. So you want to make sure it's comfortable, and if you're stretching your arm out, it's not going to be as comfortable. So go a little smaller if it's close. Okay, so that's the violin. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Paul Dustin, and I teach orchestra at Wellborn Middle School, and today I want to talk to you about the viola. The viola is held and played like the violin, but it tends to be a little bit bigger, so therefore it gives us a little bit lower, deeper sound. It's the middle voice of the orchestra, and so therefore it provides the orchestra with rich tone and harmony to fill out the group's sound. It can play high, similar to the violin, lower, similar to a cello. But again, it shines all across from the low to the high. Remember, whatever instrument you choose, you can size any size that you need. Whether it's a cello or a bass or a violin or a viola, we can find the right size for you. In order to measure for a viola, you're going to measure your left arm. You stick that straight out to the side and measure from your neck all the way out to the base joint of the wrist and right about here at the base of the palm. So just measuring straight from the neck out to that base of the palm. And then remember also, choose the instrument that you like the sound of the best. Whether you like the higher sounds of the violin, that middle range of the viola that we just heard, or the lower sounds of the cello and bass. Choose the sound that you like best. And we look forward to seeing you in orchestra next year. Thanks for listening.
Hello, I am Miss Byrne, the orchestra teacher at Cypress Grove Intermediate. Today I'm going to demonstrate the cello for you. Cello is not the highest sounding instrument or the lowest sounding instrument of the orchestra family. It is somewhere in the middle between the viola and the bass. So here's what it sounds like on the low side. And then on the high side, here we go. So from the lowest to the highest string, that's what the cello sounds like. Now, if you enjoy the sounds you just heard, then the cello is probably the instrument for you. But remember, if there was another instrument you enjoyed more, make sure you choose that instrument. Whatever you like the sound of the best, that's the instrument you should go with. Now, cello, if you choose this for your instrument, this is how you would size for it. You would sit in a chair at a 90-degree angle like I'm doing right now, and you would measure all the way from your ear to the top of your hip. From your ear to the top of your hip. Now, once you have that measurement, look at the sizing chart and see where you fall. If you fall in between two sizes, then choose the smaller of the two sizes. It's much easier to learn a smaller size than a larger size. And if you fall directly in the middle of one of those size options, then choose that size. Now again, do not hesitate to call us or email us with questions about sizing, but use that chart with that measurement. Last thing I want you to know about cellos is that you will rent an instrument and take that instrument home after we've had a chance to look it over and put finger tapes on it. So send it to the school first from the rental store. They will do that for you. And then when you take it home, you practice at home with that cello. And at school, you practice with a school cello and bring back your orchestra binder only. Now, the only other time you'll need to bring something back and forth is when you need tuning for your school, your home cello. And we'll bring that to school every so often to get that tuned.
Hey there, my name is Travis Urban, and I am an orchestra director at Oakwood Intermediate School. Today, I'm here to tell you all about the double bass. So here it is. This is the double bass. It is the biggest instrument in the orchestra, and therefore it makes the lowest sounds of the orchestra. It comes in all different sizes. If you look behind me over here, there is the eighth size, the little one on the end, and in the middle we have a quarter, and on this side we have the half-size bass. So no matter what size you come in, there's a bass that fits you. So don't worry about the size of the instrument. Speaking of size, if you're interested in playing the bass, there's a couple ways to measure yourself. You extend your left arm out and measure from the shoulder joint all the way to the tip of the finger. That's method one. Method two is you put your hand on a flat surface, your left hand, and you measure from the first finger, index finger, all the way to the pinky. And you don't extend the fingers out, you just put the hand down relaxed in that way. So I said the bass plays the lowest sounds. So let me demonstrate the low sounds for you now. It can also play a little bit higher, however, it's still pretty low. The bass is, in its function in the orchestra is the foundation. It plays the lowest notes, and if you think about a tree, it's the roots. It supports the branches and the trunk and all the leaves. So it doesn't play super fast and flashy music. It does get the melody sometimes, but mostly it's playing those really important foundation notes to hold the instrument, the orchestra together. I do want to play another song for you so you can hear the bass again. Couple more things about the bass is that if you continue bass through middle school and high school, when you get older, there are opportunities to do bass in jazz music, and the bass is also popular in pop music as well. So the bass has a lot of functions outside of just orchestra. Girls, don't be afraid to play the bass. I know it looks like this giant thing and it looks heavy, but more than half of our basses this year are girls. And the last thing I want to say is that when you rent your bass, the one that you rent stays at home for you to practice on. You don't bring that bass to school every day, because the great thing is that every school has enough basses for the kids to use, so you have a bass to use in class time. So you can keep your bass at home that you rent and pay for, and then you have one in class that you can use, so you don't have to lug it back and forth every day, which is awesome. So I hope you enjoyed my presentation about the bass. Let us know if you have any questions. Bye.
We would like for you to please choose your favorite sounding instrument as well as your second favorite sounding instrument. Since all orchestra instruments come in multiple sizes, for example, extra small, small, medium, large, and extra large, measuring your students at home will help you rent the correct size. At the end of this video, you will find a link to the measurement guide and how to apply those measurements to the instrument size associated with your student. And remember, if your student's measurements are on the border between two sizes, always go with the smaller size. Once you have watched all instrument videos, chosen your top 2 favorite sounding instruments, taken body measurements, and figured out the correct size for each of those favorite instruments, you will find the link at the end of this video to the Instrument Selection Form. This form will tell your directors which instruments you are interested in. We encourage you to do this as quickly as possible because there are limited number of spots for each instrument due to instrumentation within the orchestra, and limited availability of the class set of school instruments pertaining mostly to cello and bass. Before we talk about renting an instrument and instrument vendors, it's important to understand instrument quality. It's very hard to make a good sound on a poor quality instrument. The quality of instrument will affect the sound and ease of learning to play. An instrument that is seriously inferior can only set your child up for failure. Additionally, constant repairs on lesser quality instruments can prove quite costly and very time-consuming if parts are available at all. Indeed, the cost of a good quality beginner instrument can seem high to some, but it is a small price to pay to increase the potential success of your child. Good quality instruments mean good quality practice sounds at home. This picture gives us a visual of instrument quality. A good quality instrument is carefully fitted together by the hand of a professional luthier, otherwise known as a string instrument craftsman, which is represented by the picture with the green check mark. The next several slides will show you approved CSISD online vendors. Please ask your directors by phone or email before, quote, finding an instrument on the internet from any other source. Instrument rental. It is recommended that a beginning student rent instead of buy an instrument. The reason for this is your student grows, so does the size of the instrument. Renting allows you to trade up easily, take care of repairs, and earn credit towards the future purchase of an instrument. It is highly recommended to take care of this rental as soon as possible. Instrument shops will run out of great quality instruments the longer you wait. Instrument vendors. These vendors have all been approved by CSISD orchestra directors. Each vendor will have their own link at the end of this video. We encourage you to click each of the instrument vendor links to get their rental information before you select one that works for you and your family. Frequently asked questions. Will I get my instrument the day I order online, or will it be sent to my home? No. All instruments are delivered to the schools in August. One less thing parents have to worry about. Number 2, when do instruments go home? All instruments will remain at the school the first several weeks. They will go home once students have demonstrated how to hold instruments properly, can identify instrument part names, and how to maintain the instrument. Once violins and violas have mastered the above, those instruments will go home and back to school every day for practice. Once cello and bass students have mastered the above, they will also take their rented instruments home, where they will stay for daily practice until they're needed back at the school for tuning or for orchestra concerts. Cello and bass students will use a school-issued instrument during the school day. Number 3, can I take instruments home on the bus? Only violins and violas are allowed on the buses. Thank you so much for your time and watching this video. We cannot wait to meet you in person and to teach you your instrument. Please stay safe and healthy.
From your future beginner orchestra teachers, Amanda Byrne, Sarah Campbell, Travis Urban, and Devin Curtin.
Don't forget to complete all steps listed at the end of this video.